Someone once said that for an engineering product to be respected by Scottish engineers, it needed to be made in heaven. True or not, it's a compliment to Alan Bradley that here in Aberdeen, a Scottish city famous for papermaking for more than a century, 3 of its mills, all quite independently, chose Alan Bradley drives and associated equipment. Take Davidson Radcliffe Limited of Muggy Moss Mill. Davidson's produce board from recycled material. It is without exaggeration the envy of Europe. Demand for this product is heavy and continuous. Davidson specified a complete redrive system for their No. 5 board mill. The contract involved removing the existing analog drive in its entirety and replacing it with a digital drive.
In 1983, we commenced a 3-phase upgrade to No. 5 machine drive. We'd worked with Alan Bradley for many years prior to then, but this particular project was difficult and complicated in that it was in 3 phases.
It's a competitive world, and Davidsons have asked us not to show certain of their processes in too much detail. We've respected this and instructed our film crew accordingly. The first phase, embracing the wet end control, was completed during the annual shutdown. The second, the press monitoring section, was similarly achieved without loss of production. The third phase, arranged to coincide with the Easter shut this year, involved converting the presses to full digital control and then extending this facility to the dryers, the size press, calendar, reel and Jagenberg winder.
We're delighted to say that the third phase has just been completed to everyone's satisfaction, and we look forward to Alan Bradley's continued support in this venture.
An additional requirement of this final phase was the commissioning of a new forming section, making the machine one of the most efficient producers of plasterboard liner currently in operation. The redrive system was engineered, built and installed by Alan Bradley and handed over for production on schedule. The equipment supplied and commissioned included 29 converters, 29 DC motors and gearboxes, a digital control and management system, and 2 PLC 515 programmable controllers. The Downside Paper Company in Aberdeen has been moving ahead to increase its share in the premium art paper market. A member company within UK Papers Group, it has over the last 2 years seen around £13 million sterling invested in new coating and finishing equipment. The company is set to increase the mill's capacity to 90,000 tonnes within the next 3 or 4 years. It already exports 26% of its production.
Yes, I can say that we've worked with Alan Bradley for a number of years now. In particular, we've just completed 2 large installations, one of which was on the blade coater, and the other one is the winder which you see here. But in deciding to go with Alan Bradley, clearly there are a number of factors that one has got to consider. Firstly, we have a situation on the design concept, and clearly if the design is not right, then you can't proceed any further. And in this connection, we found Alan Bradley have worked very, very well with our own engineering staff and our production staff.
The system comprises an unwind braking generator, a single drum drive, and inverters for 12 slitter motors, as well as the complex sequencing and auxiliary AC controls, provided by a programmable logic controller, the PLC 230.
Cost performance is very important because if we look at the competitive tenders, we've got to try and compare things on a like-for-like basis. And then we have to look at things like commissioning. Do they have sufficient resources to meet the very demanding commissioning period after the installation?
And finally, we've got to look at the after-sales service and training. And I can say that we're really looking for that total package. And with Alan Bradley, I've got to admit they've been absolutely superb in meeting these requirements.
Thomas Tate & Sons of Inverurie is the northernmost mill in the United Kingdom. It makes fine paper. Until recently a family business, the company was founded 137 years ago, they sought a marriage with a company which would be able to further Thomas Tate's own ambitious plans for future expansion. They found the one they wanted in Federal Paperboard, the New Jersey-based company which had been a major supplier of pulp to Tate's for many years.
We are looking forward with complete confidence to a long and exciting future with Federal Paper Board. One of our major plans is to realise the full potential of our number 4 machine. To that end, we have been discussing our plans for some time with Federal to arrange a programme of investment.
Last year, Federal achieved net sales of $1.11 billion. Paper money indeed. Inverurie is the first new greenfield site the UK paper industry has seen in a long while. The technology there is of the leading edge variety. Their number 4 machine, greatest triumph of recent years, produces fine paper 8.5 metres wide and has a potential of 1,200 metres per minute.
From the production point of view, one of the main requirements of the Allen Bradley drive is to hold its setting once dialed in for all the grades that we make. And in this mill, we make from very thin papers to fairly heavy papers, and it's absolutely essential that the drive is set and precise so we don't have any web breaks. And we've been very delighted with the ability of this drive to do that. Even at speeds as high as 30 miles an hour on very thin papers, very weak papers, the precise setting of this drive has ensured that we haven't had any web breaks because of drive problems.
The complete drive system was designed, installed and commissioned by the Drives division of Allen Bradley. It was a major project. In coordinating it in collaboration with Holder Consultants, AB also specified David Brown gearing.
We are very pleased with Allen Bradley drives, as we have just completed many months of running without any major downtime due to drive problems.
Now, after so much Scotch, for a little southern comfort. This is the United Kingdom paper's New Thames mill in Kent. The dryer bank is to be replaced and to be driven with a new digital drive. But this time, the drive is via the felt rolls instead of the cylinders. This technology, known as a silent drive due to the elimination of gearing, is a first for UK paper and a first for Allen Bradley. To the mill, this represents the elimination of gears, their maintenance, lubrication and capital cost. It also opens up the drive side of the machine, providing improved access and CD uniformity of drying. This shift in the concept of dryers and their drives is generating a focus of interest throughout the paper industry. Allen Bradley reel packaging control is also demonstrated here at the New Thames mill. The machine wraps each paper reel with several layers of plastic stretch film, which by overlapping the reel edges also serve to secure the heavy corrugated cardboard headers designed to protect it in transit. Reels from 500 to 1500 millimeters diameter and up to 1500 millimeters wide can be dispensed at a rate of 1 every 60 seconds. The automatic packaging machine is sequentially controlled by an Allen Bradley PLC 230 programmable controller. At the start of each new reel sequence, information relating to reel diameter and width is received and stored by the controller. An ultrasonic sensor and photocells provide the measurements, and even though variations may occur between successive reels, no manual adjustments are necessary. The whole process is automatic. In the face of so much high technology, it's good to be able to record an example of user-friendliness. Every completed reel rolls to its allotted position label foremost to make life easier for the forklift operator. If we could only learn to do it with dice. The tissue machine drives section of a £500,000 contract, this time at Bridgend in Wales and for British Tissues, rounds out this particular Allen Bradley scenario. Our engineers worked through the shut to ensure that the mill started up on the first working day of the new year. In fact, they were 12 hours ahead of schedule.
The first thing we wanted to do was to upgrade the mill and bring forward technology which was the best in the industry. And this, we felt, was probably better done by Allen Bradley, who we'd had and heard quite a lot about in the past. The second criteria was that we wanted to install equipment and technology which could be easily understood by the operators concerned. and obviously equipment which they could adapt themselves to very quickly.
With the successful installation of the drive system, response time is now less than 50 milliseconds from push-button operation to change of function. The BT operators find the equipment very easy to use. Changes to specification are simple to implement via the access terminals, and British Tissues now have the system they wanted.
The third and final point was that we wanted to put in equipment and technology which would give us benefits in terms of production and, of course, profitability.
To rebuild their Jonathan machine, British Tissues wanted a company which fully understood the tissue industry from the mechanical and electrical power point of view. Additionally, they wanted one with the products and application skills necessary to link the drives and the operators into a broader objective, that of mill-wide control.
In both these terms, in production and profitability, I'm pleased to say that Allen Bradley's come first in the line here and given us equipment which will do and meet all these needs.
This is the Allen Bradley Milton Keynes facility, where our drive systems for the paper industry are proposed, designed, built and tested prior to shipment to mills around the world. If after installation a customer experiences any difficulty, there is a 24-hour advisory service operating from Milton Keynes. A modem link facility based there enables our design engineers to interrogate drive systems whilst they're in operation, no matter where they're located. This is what Peter Hall of Vision Wall Covering in Auckland has to say about the modem link.
The modem link we have here has enabled me to commission our microseal drive without the necessity of an engineer's visit from UK. It gives us total confidence to rely on equipment supplied out of UK, the other side of the world.
Shipments are supported by pre-planned training courses carried out at our fully equipped training centre in Birmingham. The courses are acknowledged as among the best of their kind available. As time passes, Allen Bradley continue to maintain their forefront position in the development of digital drives. In this, they are supported by the parent company, Rockwell International, and further reinforced by the development program being jointly undertaken by Allen Bradley and the Digital Equipment Corporation. The development program is already proving fruitful. The product, known as the Pyramid Integrator, which enables the system drives to communicate with the mainframe computer of a mill-wide system, is something you're going to hear a great deal more about.